We're working to save wildlife and wild places around the world. We have scientists, Nico guards working in the field and zookeepers working right here at home to protect a wide range of life. Now I'm going to point out the animals as we approach them, but I'm going to need your help. Scientists and zookeepers need good observation skills to learn about animal behaviors and to ensure their health. Let me know what you see and please share it with the other guests. And we have now traveled over 7,000 miles and arrived in Asia. Be on the lookout for animals. Now Asia is a continent known for its vast deer population and its deer diversity. Now folks, if you look straight ahead, there's one small deer right there in the midst. That is a Barasingha deer. Now they get their name from the look of the male deer antlers. Barasingha means 12 tines in Hindi. And that just means that the males have 12 to 14 points on those antlers. Now to the left, I thought I seen a little tan and white-bellied animal. That was a Blackbuck Antelope. Now they're classified as sexually dimorphic, only meaning that the males and the females look different from one another even though they are the same species. Now also in this beautiful meadow we have a spotted deer named the axis deer. We'll probably see them a little later. Now they're native to India and Sri Lanka, and the Bronx Zoo's been showing those particular deer here since 1899 when the zoo first opened 120 years ago. Now if you look to the right you'll see one of our male Barasingha deer. Now also if you're able to see those beautiful birds, those were the Peafowl, which are the national birds of India. Now males are called peacocks, while females are called peahens, and the little babies of course are called peachicks. And these small bills we're passing by right now represent a very interesting WCS conservation story.
Hi, farmers in Indonesia live closely with wild animals, like elephants, which we will see shortly. WCS field staff work with local leaders and farmers in Indonesia to come up with the Crop Protection Unit. This unit created many different ways for farming to continue in close proximity of wild animals. One strategy was to soak ropes in chili powder and place them around the crops. Elephants do not like chili and leave the farms alone, allowing the farmer and the animals to share the habitat peacefully.
Yes, now we all know that a species that's extinct no longer exists. Now the next animal was on the verge of extinction. In fact, the Mongolian wild horse, or the Przewalski horse, was extinct in nature. And they can only be found in zoos, but recently there have been some reintroductions of the Mongolian wild horses in areas of Mongolia and China from our North America and Asian zoos. And as we round this corner, we are now looking at the beautiful Mongolian wild horses. These are beautiful animals, the Mongolian wild horses. Now as you're looking at them, I'm pretty sure you'll notice the difference between these horses and our domestic ones. One, they have a stockier build and shorter legs. They also have an erect mane. They're missing a forelock. That's a piece of mane that drapes over the forehead of our domestic horses. Now the Bronx received its first animals in 1902, and to date, we've had over 50 Mongolian wild horse foals born right here at the Bronx Zoo. Now in the meantime, here's one of our animal experts. His name is Jonathan Slatt to speak more about these wonderful animals.
I'm Jonathan Slatt, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator for the Wildlife Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place on this earth. My job is to find practical solutions that allow people and wildlife to thrive together. Przewalski's horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s. On a recent trip to Kazakhstan, I thought about the ongoing and successful efforts in that country to bring these horses back to the Central Asian steppe. The world needs happy stories. Watch the impossible become possible and see hope restored. That's what's happening today here at Przewalski's horse.
Yes, now folks, this upper meadow that we're in right now is just an extended area where we do allow our horses to play, frolic, and run around. So here at the Bronx Zoo, we do offer them plenty of room and allow them to do just what they want to do. Again, our Mongolian wild horses, and again, all this upper area is theirs, and yes, they use every bit of it. This is all theirs. And as we slowly proceed up this hill, we're now on the lookout for two vulnerable and endangered species, and believe me when I tell you one is very large. We're talking about the brown antler deer and the gaur. Now the brown antler deer get their name from the curved shape of the male deer antlers. Currently classified as vulnerable, these deer are continuing to lose their wild space. And in many places, herds must resort to feed on crops, as their natural habitat has been taken over for farming. And believe me, you will not need binoculars for our next animal. Again, we're talking about the world's largest wild cattle, the gaur. Now, males can weigh over 2,000 pounds, as much as a small car. They stand 6 feet tall and are 10 feet long. And with their large size and impressive horns, a male gaur can fight off just about anything, and that includes a tiger. But what threatens these huge animals is the loss of their Asian habitats and diseases that they do catch from other domestic cattle. Now, as we come further to the middle, I'm going to have you start looking to your right. This is where they normally are at this time of the day. They might be in the middle of the exhibit, so there they go. As we're coming up, I see a couple standing up. The other one's laying down. These are big and huge animals, very powerful. They're galah. So again, continue to look to the right of the middle of the exhibit. You're starting to see the galah. Now, if you can, try to get a good look at those horns. Now, if those horns are curving in, those are our females. If they're slightly pointing up, those are our males. Now, only 4 zoos in America carry this species, and of course, we're one of them. And we're also trying to increase our herd, as we've added 2 females and a male from San Diego. They are big and powerful. The galah. Now, as we look to the right, we're going to see if we can find those female brown antler deer. And I see some way over to the right in the back, laying over there in the grass. Now, the reason I stress female, folks, the females do not have the antlers like the males. So we will not see the males today. Those are the female brown antler deer laying over there back by the fence. And as you can see, just like our 2 lower medals for the horses up here, we do offer our animals plenty of room to run around and graze. Again, the galah, the world's largest wild cattle, and the female brown antler deer. And as we're about to test our scientific and observation skills, you might be hearing a noise coming from the concrete jungle rather than an Asian one. You know, it's easy to forget that the Bronx Zoo sits in the heart of an urban environment. And the noise that we're hearing behind us now is the traffic from the Bronx River Parkway. And this very large fence that we're approaching right here is used to reduce the noise of that city traffic, because we do want to keep our animals calm. Now I'm going to ask everyone to please remain seated with those hands inside the cars, please, as we're about to round this corner, because we are now on the lookout for a tiger. Now, tiger stripes provide excellent camouflage, so they're very often difficult to spot. They're so secretive that even our professional researchers have a hard time finding them. Now, adult tigers normally live alone in the wild, which is why you're only going to see one of them at the exhibit at a time. And he's walking down to us, folks. This is Anakin, our male Siberian tiger. Now, we don't allow any standing on a train. What he'll probably do is turn around and walk right back up, so just give him some time. And that's what he's doing right now, so just give him some time. Don't stand up. Don't stand up. That'll stop the train. Don't stand for your safety. Now, again, he'll walk right up that path, and there he goes. Look back to the left. And for those in the back, look to the right. That is Anakin. Now, the 2 types of species that we do show here at the Bronx Zoo, the Malayan and the Siberian, also known as the Amur, the Siberian are the larger of the 2. And that's what you're looking at right now, folks. That is a Siberian tiger. He's a big one. That's Anakin. Now, tigers hunt a variety of animals, but they prefer wild pigs and medium-sized deer. Now, typically, a tiger will gorge himself with a fresh kill, eating as much as 40 pounds of meat at one time. Now, just think. That's the equivalent of you and I eating 160 hamburgers in one sitting. Now, if the male of that size, a tiger will eat again for about several days. And if you do want to get a closer look at our tigers, you can visit our Tiger Mountain right here at the Bronx Zoo. Again, that's Anakin, our Siberian tiger. He's a big one. Now, the train comes down this small hill down the back of the galah exhibit. Now, the reason I mention that, later on during the day, those large wild cattle will come right down on this hill. It's a sight to behold, because they are huge. They come right down very close to the train. But that's between 4 and 4:30 p.m. This, again, is the back of the galah exhibit and the brown antler deer exhibit. And as we come down this small hill, we're now to look out for the animals that we didn't see in the first meadow. We did see one of our Barasinger deer, and we may have seen a Blackbuck Antelope. But this is just the back part of that meadow. So look way out and see if you can see some of our animals starting to come down. I don't think they started coming down as of yet. I do see some big Barasinger deer way back there. And to the left, I think I just seen a male Blackbuck Antelope jump with those long horns and that dark coat. This is all their area. Now, the next animal blends in with the muddy area. It calls home. If you see what looks like a pig with upper tusk that erupt to the top of its snout and curved backwards towards his eyes, you find a pig called a Barbaroussa. And the fact that the tusks resemble antlers earned this pig its name. Barbaroussa means pig deer in the Malay language. Now, males will use those tusks to fight with other males to display dominance in order to attract other females. Now, they're gray in color, so they blend in very well with the exhibit. As we're about to pass this bamboo, we're going to see which ones we have in the first pen, a male or a female. And again, the male will have those tusks and the female will not. They have a long snout. And we got the female in the first pen. She's walking back to the left, so look down to the bottom of the bamboo. There she goes. Again, she has that long snout. Now, the second pin, we'll see if we'll locate a male. He will have those tusks coming out of that snout. And there he is right by the tree. Look to the right. There he is. That's the male Barbaroussa, the pig deer. Now, folks, if you had a hard time seeing those animals, believe me, we'll not have a hard time seeing our next one, because we're about to see the world's largest land mammal. And as you start to look to your right, she's way over there in the corner eating. This is Happy Our Asian Elephant. She's way over there in the corner. Now that large tree that you see by the Tipper Pool, that's an elephant-sized back scratcher. Now African and Asian elephants are iconic animals worldwide, but they are struggling in the wild. Now the first thing that you notice about this lovely lady, even from this distance, is her size. Asian elephants can weigh more than 10,000 pounds, so they eat a lot of vegetation. Now Happy eats about 200 pounds of hay a day, and she drinks about 60 gallons of water. Again, that is per day. Now I wish that she was facing us so you can see that trunk, but you still might see it from this angle, because only Asian elephants have this adaptation. She has a finger-like feature on the end of her trunk where she can gently pick up an egg. Or with that same trunk, she can tear down all these branches out here with enormous force. That trunk holds more than 40,000 muscles. It's an incredible tool. Now Happy's almost 50 years of age, folks. She's almost 50 years old. Now here at the Bronx Zoo, we do take very good care of our elephants. They not only get baths, but they get pedicures as well. And they deserve it. And that is Happy, our Asian elephant. And as we leave the elephant zone, we're now to look out for another large mammal. This one tends to weigh around 3,500 pounds. Has a horn in its nose and looks to be armor-plated. But nothing can be further from the truth when you're talking about a rhinoceros skin. And today, folks, we have our Callie. If you look down to the bottom right, she's in the first mud wallow, which I'm going to explain in a few minutes. Now, once we clear these small trees, you look straight ahead, you're going to see her. Look down to the right, there she is. All 3,500 pounds. But now, once we come around, you'll get a better view. She just propped up her ears. Now, all rhinos are highly endangered, with less than 2,000 surviving in India and Nepal. Now, here at the Bronx Zoo, we've had great success caring for these very rare animals, but breeding is a huge challenge. Now, a female rhino stays pregnant for about 16 months. Then after being pregnant for almost a year and a half, they give birth to a calf weighing between 55 to 100 pounds. Now, the calf will stay with its mother for about 2 to 3 years, even though weaning will only take about 12 to 16 months. Now, once we come around and look back to the left, there she is. Now, again, most people think that rhinos are armor-plated, but again, nothing can be further from the truth. They just have a layer of skin that has many folds, as you can see. So when you do see a rhinoceros laying in the mud, as you see Callie there laying in the mud, they're not there because they like it. They're there to protect that very sensitive skin from sunlight and from insects. As a matter of fact, one of our other rhinos, her name is Penny. Before the zookeepers bring her out, they have to actually put sunscreen on her face to make sure that she does not sunburn. Now, we've had 11 baby rhinos born right here at the Bronx Zoo, and our newest calf was born in the summer of 2013. And we're currently at the Bronx Zoo, caring for 5 endangered species as I speak. And right now, folks, we're about to pass the original mud wallow of Wild Asia, made back in 1977 and made larger by rhinos all by themselves. Now, how do they do it? They just continually stomp around it. They just continually stomp around it, making it bigger and bigger to their liking. And again, they've been doing it since 1977, when Wild Asia first opened 42 years ago. And as we leave Callie behind, we're going to our next 2 very large meadows. We're now to look out for 4 different deer species and 1 species of antelope. Now, the first deer that we're going to be on the lookout for is the Sambar Deer, one of the largest deers in southern Asia. They stand about 5 feet tall at the shoulder, weighing as much as 650 pounds, and with antlers that grow at least 3 feet long. We're also going to be on the lookout for the Nilgai Antelope. Now, they get their name from the color of the male's coat. Nilgai means blue bull in Hindi. And that's because the males have a bluish-gray tint to their coat, while the females have a yellowish-brown. Males have horns, while the females do not, and they've been clocked around 30 miles per hour while running. They are very fast. They are also the largest antelope species in Asia. And we're also going to be on the lookout for the hog deer. Now, they get their name because they're short and heavy like a hog. They creep, they duck, they run under things, rather than jump over things like other deer, hence the name hog deer. And we're also going to be on the lookout for the beautiful spotted Formosan sika deer. Now, they're from the island of Taiwan, formerly known as Formosa, and because of early habitat loss and overhunting in the early 1970s, all but eliminated their herds in the wild. You can only find them in zoos and parks in Taiwan, and we here at the Bronx Zoo have one of the largest herds in the world. Now, again, we're entering 2 very large meadows, so we haven't seen our animals yet, but we will. At this time of the day, they're up a little further. And I'm going to show you just where they go. Now, again, here at the Bronx Zoo, you can see that we offer our animals plenty of room. Wild Asia alone is 40 acres, and the entire zoo is 265 acres. We are the largest urban zoo in the country. Now, as the train rounds this bend, we're going to come down a small hill. Now, to the right of that small hill, you're going to see a mud trail. And that mud trail is just a runoff from the rhino chute. I'm going to ask you to follow that mud trail straight back up, and you're going to see the majority of our animals laying way back up there in the corner. And this is what they normally do at this time of day to seek shade. So we're coming up on that mud trail right now. So again, look down to the bottom right. Now, once we get to that mud trail again, take it straight back up. And there they go, way back up there. So just follow them way up there. This is where they like to go. Now, we will get another small opportunity as we come up a little further. Now, if you look to the right, you're going to see some of our Nilgai Antelope. Those bigger animals are the Nilgai Antelope, and they happen to be all females. And the smaller ones are the hog deer. I call those little guys the creepers and the duckers. But the big ones are the Nilgai Antelope, all female, and the small ones are the hog deer. Now, as we come up further, look back to the left in the same dirt enclosed area, you're going to see the remaining of our animals. Now in this area, when you look out for cute little Chinese tufted deer, very elusive little deer, 40 pounds maximum weight. And just like our white-tailed deer here in New York, they have a white tail and a rump. And when they flash that white tail, it's the signal of danger to the other deer. And it also allows the small fawns to follow their mothers in flight again once they sense danger. Now these deer are very rarely found in zoos outside of China, so we're very fortunate to have them here at the Bronx Zoo. Now if you quickly look over to the right, folks, Happy's still over there eating. There she is. Remember, 200 pounds of hay each day. She's still over there eating. And we're now about to cross back over the Bronx River, the highest point in our tour. Now, once we're over the water, we will be 35 feet high, so it does offer a nice photo opportunity. Now, thousands of commuters cross this waterway every day, but underneath the highways and the elevated tracks, the river still rushes along, providing a habitat for turtles, ducks, fish, and migrating birds. And if you look closely, you might see the outline of fish, but please don't stand. Now, the WCS knows how important it is to protect the Bronx River corridor and its greenway. So whether it's the Bronx River here in New York or the Irrawaddy River in Asia, rivers and streams are vital resources for wildlife everywhere. Now, this next rocky terrain is the perfect environment for our next two species of animals, and both are well adapted to climbing rocks and mountain slopes. Now, if you look straight ahead on that large rock, you start to see some of our markers, and there's one on the ledge, on that branch over there. Now, quickly look to the right. Now, this is one of our older markers with those long corkscrew horns. Now, those horns can grow as long as 5 feet on the males, 10 inches on the females, and of course they sport those beards. And we have more as we come around. That's a markar. Now, these animals are able to jump 6 feet straight in the air. That's without a running start. And our markers have been known to climb these trees just to reach the fresh leaves. They are excellent climbers and leapers, and again, this is definitely their terrain. As we come down, you can see some young ones, you can see some smaller ones. Now, last year we had about 8 or 9 baby markers born, and as a matter of fact, Animal Planet was out here taking pictures, so you'll probably see them on the segment of the zoo, or you will shortly. Now, if you look up to that large rock in the center of the exhibit, with those long corkscrew horns, that mark up there, that's the alpha male. And now if you look up to the right, on this cut-off tree stump, there's one practicing the one day to become the alpha male. They are excellent climbers and leapers, and again, this is definitely their terrain. Now, we do have some Himalayan tar also, but before we see those, I want to see if we can find our red panda. Now, he's not in the tree, but he's right below the tree, so as we come around slowly down to the bottom right, he's right down there eating. That's Linus, our red panda. There he is.
I don't see him. Down by the tree. Usually they're right by
Now, people have been fascinated by the color of that fur. Now, in Nepal, they call Han Ho, which roughly translated means firefox. And the Chinese word for red translates small bear cat. Now, today, folks, we know that the red panda is not related to the giant panda at all. They're more related to skunks, weasels, and raccoons, though they both do eat bamboo. Now, Linus does have a son, and his name is Chestnut. If you look back to the exhibit, you can see some more of our markers with those long corkscrew horns. And if you'd like to see some more of our red pandas, you can visit our Himalayan highlands, and you'll also be able to see our snow leopards, Asia's other big cats. And as we round this bend, our journey is almost at an end. And you've heard from some of our animal experts, and you tried out some of your own science skills while on this ride. So we hope that you've been inspired by what you've heard and seen today. And remember, in addition to many fine parks here in New York City, the Bronx Zoo, the New York Aquarium, the Central Park Zoo, the Queens Zoo, and the Prospect Park Zoo, the WCS has scientists in the field at more than 300 sites and in over 60 countries. Now, conflicts between humans and wildlife are becoming a more common concern all over the world. But the Wildlife Conservation Society scientists both in the field and here at the Bronx Zoo are working to find solutions to ensure the survival of wildlife worldwide, and you can help our efforts. As a matter of fact, just by visiting us today, you're helping us help wildlife. And you can discover other ways to get involved as well. You can visit us online, join an education program, or just become a WCS member. Your Zoo map has all the information to help keep you connected. Now I'm going to ask everyone to please remain seated as we're about to make a brief stop. And that's because we do have a train directly in front of us, a platform, and right now they are in the process of loading guests. Now once they complete that loading and get them all set to pull out, once we get our signal, we will be pulling in, where I'm going to let you go to enjoy the rest of your day here at the wonderful Bronx Zoo. So again, please remain seated. They're loading trains. Once it's loaded, and then we're on their way, we will be on ours. So thank you for your patience.